you hear him from there?
Yes.
Okay. You be like, this TV.
One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Welcome to Global News on Signature TV. I'm Charles Pius. In the headlines, Vice President Kashim Shettima commissions ultra-modern fashion hub in Enugu. President Tinubu submits 4 tax reform bills to Parliament. UN Security Council backs Guterres after Israel bars him from country. And Russian Defense Ministry confirms capture of Volda in eastern Ukraine. Details in a moment. The Vice President Alhaji Kashim Shettima has commissioned the 5th expanded National Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises MSME Clinic and Fashion Garment Hubs in Enugu. The Vice President, who arrived at the Akanubiam International Airport on Thursday, also inspected the Enugu International Conference Center, which is over 80% completed, the Digital Museum, as well as the Command and Control Center located at the Government House in Enugu. Senior TV correspondent Chinamerem Kikibunam reports.
And promised that the federal government and the National Assembly would collaborate in ensuring sustainable development of the zone. He reiterated President Tinubu's commitment to supporting the people of Enugu State through robust policies and programs aimed at improving the living standard of the people.
Energy is a thing about for any industrial problem. Without power, let's forget about industrialization. The president deliberately a total of his houses for 5 years in the enterprise. The champion the cause of lighting up these houses in the square clusters. This is how he will the director of the Niger Delta Power Holding Company. And of course the government is humble and self-biggest.
In his welcome address, the Enugu State Governor Anambra commended Vice President Shetima for his commitment to MSME growth, citing his recent participation at the United Nations General Assembly and his assessment of the flooding damage in Maiduguri. The governor emphasized the importance of MSMEs, which accounts for almost 90% of Nigerian businesses, and acknowledged the federal government's support through the expanded national MSME clinics. He said that the Enugu State Fashion and Garment Hub will provide advanced infrastructure, innovation, and collaboration opportunities fostering innovation, job creation, and global competitiveness.
I commend the Vice President for he has proven to be a champion of MSME's growth. We had only moments earlier commissioned the Enugu State Fashion and Garment Hub, a facility developed by the Office of the Vice President in partnership with the Enugu State Government through the Enugu SME Center. The importance of MSMEs to the Nigerian economy can never be overemphasized, as almost 90% of businesses in the country are small scale. So MSMEs are clearly the backbone and
So the Vice President
of our economy.
visited Enugu State yesterday and commissioned the Fashion Hub in Enugu. And it's a welcome development, given what they're trying to do, giving some life to the small and small businesses. I just hope that some of those laudable jobs by the governments, gives life and hope to young Nigerians who are trying to fend for themselves, because there is absolute despondency across Nigeria.
Between the federal and the state government.
Anyways.
This is the block, this is the space that employs the highest number of unemployed people in the country. So any support given to them is a great support towards reducing unemployment rates in our country.
We cannot deny the fact that from the federal government that we have received several opportunities for our people to benefit from. The students loan, the consumer cooperative, even the SFP program that we are also tapping into at this point. Even the CNG initiative, several programs of the federal government, we are proud of it. And we have also been able to extend it to our people to benefit of the opportunities for Nigerians.
It's all about many people, even scale. Everybody now employed. Some people have to make government employment, some people have to do business, some people have to be trained, be skillful.
The event showcased the federal and state government's collaboration to empower MSMEs and promote sustainable economic development. With these initiatives, the Enugu State aims to become a premier outsourcing destination, driving economic growth, job creation, and skill enhancement.
Governor Chukwuma Soludo has inaugurated the chairman and deputy of the 21 local government areas in Anambra State. The public officers who were elected in last Saturday's local government election were sworn in at the Executive Council Chambers, Government House, Oka. Signature TV correspondent Ndu Obaleze has the report.
North, Chinedu for Oka South, and Alfonso Sofumela AML Council areas. They still include Chichoko, Zumba, Dunukofia, Salin Kwoka, Idemle North, Isisamako, Idemle South, Chinedu on Iban Chikoka, and Echozon and Azodo, Nnewi North, among others. Governor Soludo thanks the newly inaugurated local government mayors to champion and deepen development at the grassroots level. The governor emphasized the need for collaboration between the state government and the local governments to ensure that the state continues to experience its current growth and progress trajectory, while urging them to focus on providing the basic amenities to the people and improving the lives of the citizens in their various constituencies. Governor Soludo also emphasized the importance of accountability and transparency in handling of public resources. He advised them to avoid corrupt practices and ensure that public funds are used judiciously to benefit the people. Ndo Obaleze.
The Nigerian Senate on Thursday reopened debate on a bill to establish the South-South Development Commission, which was suspended in July. The bill came through second reading during the plenary session. In a fresh twist, the South-South lawmakers made a case for a reconsideration of the South-South Development Commission bill.
To a region that understands our unique issues and can craft tailored solutions for them, just like the other 5 geopolitical regions. And our distinction lies in the way funds are allocated. The Niger Delta Development Commission allocates resources to member states based on the quantum of oil production in each state. While oil production remains crucial, it has led to unequal development where states with higher oil output rightly receive disproportionately share resources, leaving others behind.
Majority of lawmakers embrace the merits of the commission, asserting that it will be development-based, not resource-based like the NDDC. The Deputy Senate President Barau Jibril and a lawmaker from Kogi State, while speaking to the bill, suggested that other oil-producing states could be included in the NDDC, saying the NDDC could be renamed to accommodate more oil states.
Where this oil is being produced, these people have no water to drink. They have nowhere to cultivate food to eat. So they should be number one in having the developmental commission, because this commission is developmentally based, not oil based, because there are 2 different things we are doing. We have the hyperbed in Niger.
However, President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, put the bill to a voice vote, and many senators voted in its favor. The bill has been referred to the Committee on Special Duties to report back within 1 week.
Even though they have a Niger Delta Development Commission, which is not only serving Niger Delta alone, it serves some part of southeast and southwest, like Ondo and Abia and Imo. I think it is a fantastic idea. We need to do a lot. We need to find a situation where we will take development to the grassroots to challenge, to face our current challenges.
Since we have created commissions for other zones, like my zone as Petroleum, there's nothing wrong, and I support the idea that the commission to take care of the South-South in terms of helping to further develop the zone should be created. That's okay. That said, I would also want the name, well,
Thereafter, of course, when the commission has been created, then we have to look at the NDC again, maybe change the name to Oil Area Producing Commission, so that will include states like Gombe and Bauchi that are now oil producing. And of course, Kogi, as said by Senator Karimi, can now be brought on board. So the name, and Ogun State, and Lagos State,
There is this common adage, it's a biblical adage, that those who walk on the altar.
What do you guys think of this latest creation of commission for regions? South Development Commission, Northwest Development Commission, Southeast Development Commission, Northeast Development Commission, Southwest Development Commission. Now, all of these commissions, I really don't know. How you would know whether the commissions are going to be successful is by just looking at NDDC. Has NDDC really achieved all that it wants to achieve throughout the years of its existence? Of course not. So I'm not optimistic about the creation of all of these commissions. It makes no sense to me as far as I'm concerned. The Senate also passed for the second reading a bill for an act to establish Police Service Commission Training Institute and would serve as a center for the administration and management of the institutes and determining the standard of knowledge and skill to be acquired by the personnel of the Police Service Commission on its oversight functions over the Nigerian police. The bill was sponsored by Senator representing Jigawa East Senatorial District, Senator Abdul Mamid Malam Madari Ahmad. The Nigerian Senate has received President Bola Tinubu's communication seeking consideration and passage of the proposed fiscal policy and tax reform bill to align with ongoing financial reforms of the federal government and enhance efficiency in tax compliance. A letter read by the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, indicated the bills would provide a clearer and more concise framework for the efficient administration of all tax laws. President Tinubu also transmitted the Nigerian Revenue Service Establishment Bill, which seeks to repeal the Federal Inland Revenue Service Bill number 13 of 2007 and establish the Nigerian Revenue Service to access, collect, and account for revenue accrued to the Federation. The President also transmitted the Joint Revenue Board Establishment Bill, which establishes the Joint Revenue Board, the Tax Appeal Tribunal, and the Office of the Tax Ombudsman for harmonizing, coordinating, and settling disputes arising from revenue administrations in Nigeria.
Agreeable to the government of the Federation. The Joint Revenue Board Establishment Bill establishes the Joint Revenue Board, the Tax Appeal Tribunal, and the Office of the Tax Ombudsman for the harmonization and coordination and settlement of disputes arising from revenue administration in Nigeria. The proposed tax bills present substantial benefits to align with my government's objectives and fiscal reform and economic growth by enhancing taxpayer compliance, strengthening our fiscal institutions, and fostering a more effective and transparent fiscal regime.
President Tinubu said the proposed tax bill presents substantial benefits to align with his government's objectives, fiscal reforms, and economic growth by enhancing taxpayers' compliance, strengthening fiscal institutions, and fostering a more effective and transparent fiscal regime. The President also said he is confident that the bill, when passed, will encourage investments, boost consumer spending, and stimulate Nigeria's economy. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives has urged the Attorney General and Minister of Justice to review cases where individuals have been held in pre-trial detention for an extended period and take necessary steps to expedite their trials. The lower chamber also urged the Judiciary to adopt innovative case management strategies, ensuring timely hearings with special consideration for individuals who have endured an undue amount of time in pre-trial detention. This followed the adoption of a motion by Honorable Ahmad Sani Mohammed, who observed that a significant number of these individuals are detained for minor offenses requiring minimal or no extensive investigation, while expressing concern that the delay in adjudicating legal matters results in prison congestion, violates the rights of the accused, and erodes public confidence in the judicial system.
Pretrial detention, often exceeding legal time, legal limits by years, thereby violating their rights and contributing to prison overcrowding. Also observes that a significant number of these individuals are detained for minor offenses requiring minimal or no extensive investigation. Concerned that the delay in adjudicating legal matters results in prison congestion, violates rights of the accused, and erodes public confidence in the judicial system. Alarmed that the trial delays the trade witness appearance in time.
The House of Representatives also directed its Committee on Sports to conduct a thorough investigation into the factors behind Team Nigeria's poor performance at the 2024 Paris Olympics and to recommence both sports short and long-term reforms to prevent a repeat of such a disappointing outcome. The House resolved to examine the proper utilization of funds allocated for the team's preparations and participation in the event, following a motion of urgent public importance raised by Honorable Adebayo Adeshola.
Got the permission for you to do this from my side.
In a related development, the House of Representatives has approved a reimbursement of 9.54 billion naira to Nasarawa State and 15.14 billion naira to Kebbi State for the federal takeover of newly constructed cargo facilities. The House of Representatives also at the end of plenary adjourned until next week, Tuesday. In commemoration of the 2024 World Teachers' Day, WTD, the Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Maman, has advised Nigerian teachers to be resilient in the face of adversities. Maman gave the advisor at the news conference in Abuja on Thursday to herald the 2024 WTD, adding that the teachers would surely be recognized with time. The minister, who was represented by the Permanent Secretary, Nasiru Sani Guaduzo, said that many teachers worked under very hard conditions, yet they remained dedicated to their duties in the interest of Nigerian children. He said that even when faced with challenges, teachers demonstrated resilience and remained dedicated in their responsibilities. He therefore urged all teachers to look beyond current circumstances and respond to the challenges of adopting contemporary teaching methods, conducting researches, and embracing technology and digital transformation. A non-governmental organization, Inmate Education Foundation, has called on the federal government to consider subsidizing examinations fees for Nigerian inmates to encourage more participation in NECO and WAEC examinations. A research officer of the foundation, Balikis Anoba, made the call during the meeting of Civil Society Organization Communication and Coordination Forum for Effective Intervention in Abuja. Anoba said that the foundation was able to register about 150 inmates with 26,000 naira per inmate for NECO examination. Meanwhile, the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has expressed worry over huge administrative costs incurred by many universities. ASU President Professor Emmanuel Osodeke said this while speaking with newsmen at a two-day program organized by the union on the state of the nation in Abuja. Osodeke said that most of the internally generated funds from universities were nothing to write home about when compared to the daily or monthly running costs for electricity, security, among others. In the Northwest, Katsina State government says it has approved the release of 1.5 billion naira as state intervention to its Universal Basic Education Board to enhance teaching and learning in primary schools across the state. The board's executive chairman, Kabiru Magaji, stated this in Katsina on Thursday at a press briefing on the activities of the board in the past 1 year. He said that the funds would be used to construct about 48 new primary schools and rehabilitate some existing ones. Magaji revealed that the funds would also be utilized to procure basic facilities for the schools. The chairman explained that the state had received over 13.5 billion naira matching grants from the UBAC and World Bank project Better Education Service Delivery for all BESTA during the period under review. He pointed out that the funds were for implementation of projects in 2023 and 2024. Magaji also revealed that the board had trained more than 17,000 out of its 30,000 teachers in different capacities in the past 1 year. He assured that the state government would continue to invest in the education sector in view of its importance to nation building. Meanwhile, 2 police operatives attached to the Anambra State Police Command have been killed by hoodlums during a gun duel at Newi on Thursday morning. The hoodlums tossed an improvised explosive device at the police operatives, which exploded, killing 2 of the men in the squad. The State Police Command confirmed the incident in a statement by the spokesperson of the command, Tochukwu Ikenga, who said manhunt for the attackers is ongoing. He said preliminary information reveals that the armed men started shooting sporadically on sight in the police operatives and threw an improvised explosive into their operational vehicle, leading to 2 of the operatives paying the supreme price while the vehicle caught fire. Still to come, Navy rescues 15 suspected victims of human trafficking. Governor Ododo disburses 100,000 livelihood grants to 8,000 Kogi youths and women. Stay tuned. They don't throw bomb for Anambra State. Where they get IED from? No. Southeast doesn't have that kind of thing. IED. Now, Northeast, you could talk. Northeast, not. I mean, when there's problem of arms. That's stunning. Is it proliferation of arms? Which kind of armed robbery be that one? Improvised device in Anambra State. About the level of criminality, man. No, but what are you attacking police for? Like, if you're going to steal from somebody, it's a different thing. You're attacking police. Attacking police for what? Like, are you going to get money from attacking police?
Police are evil now. Police are more dangerous now than criminals. Most of those criminals, those police know them. If you know 50 inside police, you know like them. Police, they are very dangerous.
Welcome back. You're watching Global News on Signature Television. The forward operating base of the Nigerian Navy in Lagos has handed over 15 rescued victims of human trafficking to the Nigerian Immigration Service, NIS. The base information officer, Lieutenant B.C. Awodei, disclosed this in a statement on Thursday in Badagry, Lagos. Awodei said that on September 30, the base quick response team deployed at Togeji Island off the coast of Badagry intercepted a fiber passenger boat at Panshin Jetty Owode Badagry, Lagos State, en route Republic of Benin. They said that the 12 suspected victims of human trafficking have been handed over to the Nigerian Immigration Service, Semi-Border Command, Lagos State, for further investigation. In another development, the FOB has handed over 3 additional victims of human trafficking to the National Agency for Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP. The Ministry of Power has expressed its willingness to collaborate with the National Lottery Trust Fund to train youths on the assembling of solar energy. The Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, said this in Abuja on Thursday when he received the Executive Secretary of the fund, Tosin Adeyanju, who led the management team to the ministry. Adeyanju had said that the team was in the ministry to seek partnership on how they can collaborate to train those in the rural areas, particularly the youths, on how they can assemble 1 kilowatt of solar energy. Adelabu expressed the readiness of the ministry and its relevant agencies to collaborate and work with the funds to achieve the objective. He said that the renewable power project of the ministry was established to address the areas of the country that the grid did not cover. The minister said that the minister or the federal government was committed to providing electricity to the rural people, particularly the youths. Adelabu also assured Nigerians of reduction in the price of electricity with the current efforts to step up generation and distribution of power in the country. Meanwhile, the Lagos State government on Thursday vowed to deploy actionable strategies to sustain the ban on the use and sale of styrofoam, food containers, and single-use plastics in the state. The Commissioner for Environment and Water Resources, Dr. Tokumbo Wahab, made the commitment at the one-day stakeholders workshop on the implementation of the ban on the usage of styrofoam and SUPs in the state. Wahab, who was represented at the event by the Special Advisor on Environment, Kunle Rotimi Akodu, said that the workshop would fashion out the necessary strategies to implement and sustain the ban. He said that available statistics show that Lagos generates over 13,000 tons of waste daily, with a significant percentage being single-use plastics and styrofoam. According to him, these plastics have been scientifically proven to take up to 1,000 years before degrading. He said the resolution to ban the products would not only be beneficial to the present generation, but also to generations unborn. Wahab said that the government remained determined to encourage viable options for styrofoam containers across the state. He said that Lagos had been firsthand the devastating effects of plastic pollution, as it affects air quality, clogs the waterways, and poses long-term health risks to the citizens. Governor Ahmed Ododo of Kogi State has flagged off disbursement of 100,000 each to 8,000 youths and women in the state as livelihood support grants for their existing and new businesses. Ododo disbursed the grants to the beneficiaries from all the 21 local government areas of the state on Thursday in Lokoja. Excuse me. He said that the disbursement of the cash marked a significant milestone in lives of the women and youths of the state towards a more equitable and prosperous livelihood. The governor, who was represented by his deputy, Joel Oyibo, said that the empowerment was in collaboration with the World Bank under the Kogi State Community Action for Resilience and Economic Stimulus, KG Cares. He said that the livelihood support grants through the state grants transfer delivery platform was designed to provide cushioning effects for the vulnerable individuals and households. The governor urged all the beneficiaries to take full advantage of the opportunity, consider it as a critical step towards enhancing the dignity of the life and that of their loved ones as they put the money to good use. Meanwhile, following the flood that submerged 70 communities in Kogi, the state government has appealed to the federal government to urgently intervene to mitigate the impact of the flood. The Deputy Governor, Joel Salifu, made the appeal during an inspection tour to the Edeha community in Kogi local government area affected by the flood. Salifu, who doubles as a chairman 2024 Kogi State Flood Disaster Response Committee, said that in spite of the state's preparedness, the present situation in Edeha and other communities along the routes was beyond what it could handle. He, however, expressed joy that no life was lost, as most of the affected communities have moved to internally displaced persons camps set up by the state. The Deputy Governor assured the commitment of the state to doing its best in ameliorating the suffering of the affected persons. He affirmed that all the necessary steps have been put in place at the 48 IDP camps set up across the state. Meanwhile, the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, in Maitama has issued a public summons against immediate past Governor of Kogi State, Yahya Bello. By the summons, Bello is to attend court on 24th of October for his arraignment alongside 2 other defendants. Justice Marian Aneni issued the order for public summons in a ruling on Thursday, following an application by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. Justice Aneni ordered the EFCC to publish the public summons in a widely circulated newspaper and also ordered the EFCC to paste copies of the public summons on Bello's last known address and in conspicuous places in the court's premises. The EFCC had claimed that it has been unable to serve Bello with a charge filed on September 24th, in which the ex-governor and 2 others were charged with criminal breach of trust to the tune of 110.4 billion naira. The other 2 defendants in the charge are Umar Oricha and Abdusalami Hudu. Bello's absence stalled the arraignments earlier scheduled for Thursday. Meanwhile, the Federal Capital Territory High Court, presided over by Justice Silvanus Origi, has granted bail to a former governor of Taraba State, Darius Ishaku, to the tune of 150 million naira and 2 sureties in like sum. The 2 sureties must be residents in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, with their house addresses verified by the registrar of the court, while one of them must be director with the Federal Civil Service. The former governor was arraigned by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, on a 27 billion naira alleged fraud before Justice Origi. Justice Origi barred the former governor and his co-defendants, Bello Hero, from traveling out of the country except with permission of the court. The EFCC, through its counsel, Rotimi Jacobs, did not oppose the bail request of the former governor, saying the anti-graft agency had granted the ex-governor administrative bail and that he did not jump the bail. Justice Origi subsequently fixed November 4th, 5th, and 13th for the commencement of trial. Ishaku, who was elected on the platform of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, was governor of Taraba State in Nigeria's northeast zone from May 2015 to May 2023. Meanwhile, members of the Rivers State chapter of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, have staged a protest march to the Department of State Security Office and the government's house, both in Port Harcourt, the Rivers State capital. There was massive presence of security officers as the protesters gathered in large numbers at the PDP secretariat, causing slow movement of vehicles on the road, with security officers struggling to control the crowd. The protesters, carrying placards and banners, were chanting songs and protests and calling for the cancellation of local government elections slated for this Saturday. They insisted that the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission must obey a court judgment stopping the elections. Spokesman of the protesters, Chukwu Emeka Aaron, called for the cancellation of the elections.
We are members of the People's Democratic Party, heavily led by my humble self, the state chairman of our party, Chukwu Emeka Aaron. We, as law-abiding citizens and people that believe in rule of law, there was a court judgment on the 30th of September restraining INSEC not to conduct the election. Reason being that they never complied to the laws of that election. And then restraining the security agencies, restraining NEC not to give them voters registered. And we as a party, we have also agreed to comply to those orders that were the judgment that was given not to participate in that election. But our own problem why we came this one is that no man is bigger than the law. This order must be obeyed by the state government and the RISEC. For us to not to cause mayhem, for peace to reign in River State, we want to beg you that you talk to them, tell them that we don't want problem in River State, we need peace in River State. So let there be no election. Yesterday we had our public holiday for that same election. And that was why we said no, we don't put our hands, we need to meet to you and tell you that we as a law-abiding citizens and that believe the rule of law, we have complied to the court judgment. Let them comply to that court judgment. That's why we are here. This one.
The protesters later marched down to the DSS facility at Old GRA, where they submitted the protest petition before proceeding to the government house, accompanied by the functional leader of the APC in the state, Tony Okocha, and some stakeholders. The protesters were joined by former LGA chairman, members of the House of Representatives, and former chief of staff, government house, loyal to the FCT minister. Meanwhile, the Benue State Governor, Hyacinth Alia, has declared Friday, October 4th, as a work-free day in the state ahead of the October 5th local government elections. A statement by his chief press secretary, Teso Akula, in Markedi on Thursday said that the work-free day was to give the electorate the opportunity to travel to their respective local government areas to exercise their franchise. Alea emphasized the importance of active participation in the electoral process and encouraged all citizens to take advantage of his work-free day to exercise their civic duty. He expressed confidence that with the right commitment and participation in the elections would be conducted smoothly and fairly. The governor further urged all public and private sector organizations to support the initiative by allowing their employees to do likewise. He charged the citizens to prioritize peaceful conduct and collaboration during the elections, reinforcing the need for unity and cooperation among all parties involved. Meanwhile, Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State says his administration is reviewing the state public service rules to bring about transformation in the state civil service and public service. Makinde stated this on Thursday at the executive chambers of the office while receiving committees' reports on the review updates of public service rules and other regulations in the state civil public service. The governor said the existing public service rules had become obsolete. He said that his administration had put in place a lot of measures to improve the civil service system in the state. Makinde said that the technical committee would produce the white paper of the report within a short time, which will be followed with immediate implementation. He said the committee report had validated his position regarding the legacy he wanted to be remembered for. Makinde pledged that he would forge ahead to put in place strong institutional frameworks that would ensure that the state continued to experience good governance even after the expiration of his tenure in 2027. The federal government has expressed concerns over the poor implementation of the $700 million Sustainable Urban and Rural Water Supply Sanitation and Hygiene Shorewash program by state government. This was the thrust at the high-level advocacy meeting with 7 state governors implementing the Shorewash program in Abuja. The program is being implemented in Delta, Ekiti, Gombe, Imo, Kaduna, Katsina, and Plateau states. The Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, Professor Joseph Husev, said that the Shorewash program was now in its 3rd year of a 6-year initiative, had not met expectations in terms of implementation and disbursement. Husev attributed the slow progress to a lack of understanding and awareness among the governors who play a key role on or in its execution. He said that plans were in place to visit the 7 participating states to assess progress, provides guidance, and invites other states to join in expanding its impact. He further said that expanding its participation to more states could enhance the program's effectiveness and contribute to broader democratic development. Excuse me. Meanwhile, petroleum marketers have raised an alarm that the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited NNPCL portal used for the purchase of premium motor spirit has been shut down against dealers, making it impossible to apply for the commodity. Spokesperson of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, Chinedu Okadike, said in a statement that the marketers have more than 2,000 pending tickets for the purchase of petrol. He hinted that the situation may lead to another round of fuel scarcity nationwide. Reacting to the developments, the spokesperson of NNPCL, Olufemi Shoneye, admitted that the state-owned firm was a significant backlog or has a significant backlog to address, and that the portal closure was intended to prevent the company from holding marketers' funds for an extended period. Shoneye assured that the portal would soon be opened once the backlog has been sufficiently reduced, assuring that the efforts are being made to address it as soon as possible. Recall that NNPCL in September 2024 announced a fresh price increase for petrol nationwide after lifting the product from Dangote refinery. The federal government has announced the removal of value-added tax on cooking gas, compressed natural gas, automotive gas oil, and other reliefs to boost investment and tackle economic hardship in the country. It also announced VAT reliefs for the importation of key energy products and infrastructure, including diesel, feed gas, electric vehicles, liquefied natural gas infrastructure, and clean cooking equipment. The Minister of Finance and the Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edu, who announced this in a statement issued in Abuja, said the initiative is to lower rising living costs and accelerate Nigeria's transition to cleaner energy. He explained that the notice of tax incentives for deep offshore oil and gas production provides new tax reliefs for deep offshore projects with aim of positioning Nigeria's deep offshore basin as a premier destination for global oil and gas investment. The development comes as the majority of the Nigerians lament the rising cost of living in the country, occasioned by high inflation, which stood at 32.15% in August of 2024. And still to come, UK cedes Chagos Island sovereignty to Mauritius, retains Diego Garcia Air Base. Ukraine's top commander orders defenses bolstered in the east after Volodar falls. These and more for the break. To stay with us. Of course, I would eat water every morning.
Nigeria.
You're watching Global News on Signature Television. Britain said on Thursday it would give up sovereignty of the Chagos Islands to Mauritius in a deal that would allow displaced people return from home, while London retains use of the important UK-US military base on Diego Garcia. Britain said that the operation of Diego Garcia, a strategic air base in the Indian Ocean, jointly operated with the United States, was protected by the agreement, which also allows Mauritius to resettle the rest of the island after its population was displaced. U.S. President Joe Biden welcomed the deal, saying it would secure the effective operation of the airbase into the next century. British Foreign Minister David Lammy said that the contested sovereignty of the island and ongoing legal challenges meant the long-term future of the Diego Garcia site had been under threat. The deal marks a change of approach to the issue from new British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, who has said his government would be in part defined by his respect for international law after his Labour Party won power in July. Under the agreement, Britain will be authorized to exercise sovereign rights over Diego Garcia in order to ensure the continued operation of the base for an initial 99 years. Its strategic importance was demonstrated during the Iraq and Afghanistan conflicts, where it acted as a launch pad for long-range bombers. Meanwhile, the United Nations Security Council on Thursday expressed its full support for Secretary General Antonio Guterres after Israel's foreign minister said he was barring him from entering the country. The 15-member council said in a statement that any decision not to engage with the UN Secretary General of all the United Nations is counterproductive, especially in the context of escalating tensions in the Middle East. The statements did not name Israel, as such statements by the council are agreed by consensus. Is it hot water? Then give me hot water. Thank you.
Repeatedly this morning. I can think of no starker example of state support.
United Nations peacekeepers in southern Lebanon remain in place despite Israel asking them to move and provide the only communications link between the country's militaries, the UN peacekeeping chief says on Thursday. UN peacekeeping chief Jean-Pierre Lacroix said that peacekeepers would continue to do their best to implement their Security Council mandate in obviously very difficult conditions, adding that the contingency plans were ready for both good and bad outcomes. Recall that the Israeli military asked UN peacekeepers earlier this week to prepare to relocate more than 5 kilometers from the border between Israel and Lebanon, known for the Blue Line, as soon as possible in order to maintain their safety. Lacroix said Consul was continuing to liaise with both countries, describing the mission as the only channel of communication between them. The mission was working to protect civilians and support the safe movement of civilians and delivery of humanitarian aid. How much time do we have? How much time do we have? How many minutes? How much time do we have? 7:50. The U.S. is discussing strikes on Iran's oil facilities as retaliation for Tehran's missile attack on Israel, President Joe Biden said on Thursday, while Israel's military hit Beirut with new airstrikes in its battle against Lebanese armed group Hezbollah. As Israel weighs its options after its arch foe Iran launched its largest ever assault on Tuesday, Biden was asked whether he would support Israel striking Iran's oil facilities. His comments contributed to a surge in global oil prices, and rising Middle East tensions have made traders worry about potential supply disruptions. Israel's UN ambassador Danny Danon told newsmen on Thursday that his country has a lot of options for retaliation and would show Tehran its strength soon. Meanwhile, smoke filled the sky over Beirut's southern suburbs on Thursday as Israel continues to strike Dahiyeh, where Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah was killed last week. Rubble and debris from the destroyed buildings and vehicles are seen as residents of Dahiyeh are fleeing their hometowns as Israeli military issues orders for evacuation from specific neighborhoods in the southern suburbs of Beirut, warning in statements that it will hit Hezbollah targets in buildings there. 46 people have been killed and 85 wounded in Israel strikes on Lebanon in the past 24 hours, the Lebanese Health Ministry says in a statement early on Thursday. UN Special Coordinator on Lebanon, Janine Henning-Splastert, said on X on Thursday that it was another sleepless night in Beirut with the blast shaking the city. Recent Israeli airstrikes have caused significant destruction in Beirut's southern suburb of Dahiyeh, as seen in footage from Thursday. The recent strikes leveled buildings and left behind scenes of damaged vehicles, shattered infrastructure, and rubble in the area. Earlier on Thursday, 3 explosions were heard and several large plumes of smoke were seen rising after heavy Israeli strikes in Dahiyeh, a Hezbollah stronghold. According to Lebanese government statistics, more than 1,900 people have been killed and over 9,000 wounded in Lebanon in almost a year of cross-border fighting, with most of the deaths occurring in the past 2 weeks. Lebanon's Health Minister Faraz Abiad said on Thursday a total of 1,974 people have been killed, including 127 children and 9,384 injured since the start of the Israeli attacks on Lebanon over the last year. Earlier on Thursday, smoke was seen from Marion rising in southern Lebanon as hostilities between Israel and Hezbollah intensify. Israel, which has been fighting with Hamas in Gaza for almost a year, sent its troops into southern Lebanon after 2 weeks of intense airstrikes, escalating tensions in a conflict that risks drawing in the United States and Iran. Israel's military urged residents of over 20 towns in southern Lebanon to evacuate their homes immediately on Thursday as it pressed on with an incursion after suffering its worst losses in a year of fighting the Iran-backed armed group Hezbollah. And that's the news this hour. Many thanks for joining us. Join me and my colleague in another 5 minutes for an interesting time for the morning show. Stay with us. I'm Charles Pius. Good morning.
I record the minutes for them. We say join us upness virtual mode.
Top of the hour.
We say join us that means
Top of the hour, yes. Give you 5 minutes time because it's 5 minutes to the top of the hour.
you do like that.
You don't know broadcasting?
I'm still learning.
How do you do? So catch you guys top of the hour, all right? Signature TV on YouTube. Let's get it going.